Welcome to the Salty Chip Podcast, where you're always coming back for more, with your hosts Mackenzie and Isaac.
Okay, this season on Real Housewives of Miami has gotten really intense in many different directions as well. So first, it starts off with Alexia Nipola and her husband Todd, who are getting a divorce. So he sends her out of the house to go do something. And her son, Frankie, now he is an adult, but he got in a bad car accident like 10 plus years ago and has brain damage. So him and Alexia are very close, and she is his caregiver and basically has to be with him most of the time and kind of guide him. And he lives with her, and like she wouldn't just like send him off and let him live alone.
He's not gonna like live by himself and maintain a house or an apartment or anything like that.
So Todd is at home with Frankie and his daughter, and him and his daughter proceed to pack up all of their belongings and move out while Frankie is there. Now Frankie is like hysteric, doesn't know what's going on, totally confused. Todd is leaving, mom is gone. And then Alexia comes home and they are moved out, and Frankie has to tell her what just happened. And it was really weird because the night before, Todd had taken her on a romantic date, saying how much they love each other. You know, they were intimate, everything was fine. And so it was totally from left field from what she is claiming. So now she is heartbroken. She is spilling everything to like her castmates about why we should not like Todd, right? About his finances, about how he rents everything. His whole life is rented, and just talking shit about him. So everyone naturally is Team Alexia and now like talking shit about Todd. Well, somewhere along the lines, he's been sweet talking her, and now it is all of a sudden not okay to talk shit about Todd. So the new cast member, Stephanie, has kind of gotten a lot of heat for bringing up Todd, and that's who Alexia explodes on this last episode.
Yeah, but like all of them have been bringing up Todd because like she started off the season and kind of Todd's terrible, but then like immediately the next day she's like back together with him. And they were going to get a divorce, but then the judge was like, it's taking so long that the judge basically is going to cancel the divorce unless they do something about it. Yes. So it's like she spends all that time complaining about him to all of her friends. So they're like Team Alexia and hate him. And then she comes back the next day and is like, oh, I'm in love with him. We're back together. Why don't y'all like him? You know? Yeah. And so it's like this weird, like, it's like, well, obviously I don't like him because you were just complaining constantly, and we had this whole hurrah about how we hate him, and then the next day you're like, oh, I love Todd. Yeah.
And everyone from the beginning of this relationship had their questions about Todd, you know, like
they've never really liked him.
Yeah. So everyone was kind of relieved that she was, you know, getting rid of him, or he was getting rid of her, I guess.
Yeah, and that's how it was. Definitely him getting rid of her. She was always just like, it's whatever Todd, I'm waiting to see what Todd does.
Yeah.
And they like are trying to push her to sort of like take some charge and like, you know, finish it or whatever, like actually split up, but she just won't. She's like obsessed with him for some reason.
Yeah, so now in real time, they are divorced, but they're dating. So
it's just that kind of mess. Like there's always those people who like been divorced 2 times to the same person, and then when they're remarried, it's like, okay, y'all are like just like a toxic mess. Like what is going on? They're definitely one of those kind of couples.
They are. So poor Stephanie is now like caught in the crossfires of Alexia, which is not going to go well. And in the last episode, she was, you know, talking about Todd, about how he was a narcissist, and how the whole like narcissist party that Alexia threw was like geared towards Todd. Yeah. And that really upset Alexia.
Yeah, which again, it's like the same pattern with the just complaining to her friends. Like that whole thing was about Todd. And like that was the point of it all.
Yeah.
But now the next day she's like trying to straight face be like, no, that had nothing to do with Todd. That was not about Todd at all. It's like, you think like everyone's an idiot or something? Like, what do you mean? Like, that was obviously that was the whole point of it.
I think that she's trying to cover her ass because Todd's going to see this season and then he's going to get upset with her.
Oh, I'm sure.
About, why did you have that party? It was geared towards me. So she had to say, oh no, it wasn't geared towards you. To cover her ass in the future.
I bet you're right. Yeah, she's trying to cover her tracks, but it's like, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
You know, because it was like, you know, even if they have a clip of her saying that, they have the whole other stuff showing that it was obviously about him.
Right. So, I don't know. It's interesting. Their relationship is very interesting. The fact that they're like still together, but they're not married, but they were married. And I can't imagine how confusing that is for Frankie. And
you can just tell all the friends are just worn out of hearing it. Yeah. Everyone's going to be over them. Like, whether they're together or not, they're going to be like, we don't even care. Like, we don't want to hear about it because it's different every day. And you want us to flip-flop with you every day. And it's like, we don't care anymore.
Right.
Like, you know.
Right.
And I think they're all getting to that point. Like... And a part of her, she like kind of wants them to not care, but then I guarantee she's gonna be like, y'all don't ever ask me about me and Todd.
Oh gosh,
because we don't give a shit.
Yeah, when you could tell Marisol was happy that Alexia was finally talking shit about him because of all the crazy shitty things that he's done in the past. And if you don't,
they've never liked him.
If you can recall last season, Alexia opened up with a party at their new condo, and she's like, don't worry, me and Todd aren't getting a divorce. He's not here because he's doing blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, yeah, y'all are getting a divorce.
Yeah, that's almost, that's like the tell.
Yeah, like, what are you talking about? You are heading straight for divorce. And they were only married 2 years.
Yeah, and even, it's like, since they've been on, the whole thing is always rocky and bumpy. Like,
yeah.
Maybe that's just her type. She likes a roller coaster, toxic relationship, you know?
Well, I mean, she has been married. I think that was like her third marriage.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah.
So,
I mean,
and it's over.
Yeah. So,
you know, she likes to say she goes from her heart. And I think maybe now she needs to follow her mind.
Yeah. It's like her heart's screwed up. Like,
yeah,
after like 3 divorces too, it's all the states should just be like, no, like, you don't get another marriage certificate. Like, you blown it. You obviously like are not cut out for this.
Well, that's why divorce rate is so high. It's not all new marriages. It's the same people getting married and divorced over and over and over. So they're hiking up our divorce rate.
Yeah, exactly. You got those people that have been divorced so many times contributing, which if you took them out, is way lower.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, I just don't even know where you would go from that in a relationship. You know, after getting divorced and then trying to rekindle things, telling yourself that it's all fine, you know, just basically lying to yourself about the whole relationship. Just because maybe she doesn't want to be lonely, but yeah.
They like the lows, they like the highs.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
kind of get addicted to the roller coaster.
For sure. They get hooked on the just the cycle of it all, and like they feel, I don't know what they get out of it, but they definitely just want to recreate it over and over and over throughout their life. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah. So then the new cast member Stephanie, you know, gets drawn into this drama with Alexia, and it all happens at Guerdy's cancer survival party. And Alexia gets very upset over the Todd thing, but also over what Guerdy had announced and shown at the party. So after the little celebration of Guerdy surviving breast cancer, which is amazing in itself, her sons and her husband, and supposedly some of the guests. Now, we do see other guests than the Housewives.
Yeah, because this wasn't like a housewife event. It was like a charity breast cancer thing.
Yeah, so it was a thing for Guerdy's breast cancer. And supposedly some of the guests leave or get, you know, escorted out from filming. But they do keep some of the regular guests. When she then proceeds to pull up on the big screen text messages between her and Julia. Julia, trying to tell her side of the story with being invited on the cruise with Julia. So there's some discrepancy of Julia saying she was begging to go on the cruise with her, and then
Guerdy's saying like, no, she was totally crashing out and like was like, I need your help, like I'm going through it kind of thing.
Yeah. So
and they're also like kind of fighting because with Julia's like, she adopted these 2 kids, and when she announced it to him, Gertie like couldn't get on the phone, and so she didn't watch the Zoom call. So that's sort of like the start of it, of like why there's so much tension between them, and then the cruise thing on top of that. So they're like really not vibing.
And also in the episode before, you see Julia throwing her water at Guerdy.
Oh yeah, they got in some fight, and she like went totally crazy and like splashed her drink on her like,
over
big
the
time.
way that they invited whoever to this cruise. It's all over such a dumb thing. Well, no, you begged me. Oh no, you begged me. And it's like, guys, just shut up. You went on the freaking cruise together. It was a bad time, and now you're not friends. Like, just shut up about it. But instead, Julia's throwing water on top of Guerdy, which is totally uncalled for. None of the other women stood up for Guerdy or said anything in the moment like, whoa, Julia, that was next level. You don't need to be doing this. Nothing. It was really odd.
Yeah.
So I do get why Gertie feels like she doesn't have an ally in the group, and that no one stood up for her because no one did.
Yeah.
And then now
she goes on super attack mode with puts up the text messages like on the projectors, like for everyone to read.
Yeah. And so
they were long. They were these big. They were so long, I don't even think most people read them.
I don't think they did. I think that they obviously knew that there was beef. Maybe you got to read a sentence or two, but it was like paragraph after paragraph after paragraph text message and like 4 screenshots of it. So
yeah,
that's when a lot of people who were not Real Housewives, you could see that they were like shocked.
Like what is going on? I thought this was like for breast cancer.
Yeah. So then the housewives kind of split. Some housewives
they
leave.
always do that. Like once something like that happens, it's like there's like somebody's gonna run out, and like half of them go to run out, a couple of them stay, and they're like, can you believe they ran out and aren't here staying with you? Like, but most people were like, whoa, Gertie, that was like way too much.
And Gertie knows that she went low, because in the mirror she's saying to herself, sometimes you go high and sometimes you go lower. So she is well aware that she went lower that time. And I get wanting to speak your piece. I get being in I'm in my peace era and I'm going to stand up for myself era. I totally understand that. I don't think Gertie is wrong in any way wanting to do any of that. But I think the delivery should have been at a housewives only dinner where she had the receipts, where she could clear her name in front of the cameras, in front of, her castmates. Because all the other people there, even though they do have her back, it's just weird vibes.
Well, and the people, they will have her back, but like she destroyed her sort of like sense of trust with everyone. Like nobody is going to be sending her anything or counting on her to keep something. Like, hey, I'm going to tell you something, keep it like chill, like she totally blew that. So like I think it's going to be hard for her to stay close with any of the other castmates, and she's going to get, even though they're like, oh yeah, like you were defending yourself or standing up for yourself, she went so over the top that it's like, yeah, you were defending yourself, but no one can be close to you now. Yeah. Because like, why would they put themselves in that kind of a position? That, because they're gonna show up to a cancer event and you're getting blasted on the thing. It's like, what the heck? You can't like feel relaxed around this person telling them anything. So
and
she
like
totally
texting them anything,
that.
You probably won't
nobody
spill anything on text message. And you even have to worry about like people recording your telephone calls because you can just hit screen record, you know.
Yeah. And most states are single party, which means you don't need to tell. Some states aren't, but most states, you don't need to tell anybody you're recording them if it's on a phone or whatever.
Yeah.
Or even just in person, you know, like it's just as long as you consent, you can do it.
Right. And of course, everyone's going to support her to her face, but behind her back, you know, her friends and her supporters that are not part of the cast might think a little differently. It might be, if she did that to that person, what is she going to do to me if I step out of line? You know, so they might be nice to her face, but they might also pull back.
Yeah, it's like it's going to... Exactly. It's like she'll have like quote unquote respect from people, but it's like out of fear. So it's not actually respect.
Right.
You know, it's like, so I think she totally screwed herself going nuclear like that.
Yeah.
Even if it was like, oh, I'm standing up for myself. It's like, yeah, well now nobody is going to be your ally. Even if they agree with you, it's like, no, you know, like, cause I'm going to be next if I, you know, go on a cruise with you or something.
Right.
Next thing you know, I'm getting blasted at the cancer event with my text pulled up on the screen. It's like, so it'll be. So I think she's gonna have a hard time like being close to the cast and sort of staying a main part of the show because people aren't gonna want to be around her, you know, and they're gonna be like, no, we're not about that, you know.
And granted, what Julia did to her is totally wrong.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Framing her in a false manner, pouring water on her, bringing it up again after they said that they would squash it and never bring it up again when they were at the little like healing party
they had
or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I get Gertie's frustration, and Julia is 100% in the wrong. I don't think that she's thinking straight this season. I think her emotions are all over the place. I think that she's been through a lot with Martina having her cancer and then adopting these two little boys. Even though it's bringing her joy, I still think that she's been through a lot because it brings up trauma from her first infant little boy who was murdered by the babysitter and they never found her. So I think that she is emotionally in a whirlwind right now and is treating people poorly, especially Gertie. I don't know why, but I think maybe because Gertie's getting more spotlight.
Well, it's because of the kid. It's because of the kid announcement thing.
Yeah,
that's where it all like started with them. Is like that Zoom call and Gertie was on it, then dropped or something, and Julia was like, "I'm not gonna."
Phone service or something, and tried to get back in, and then Julia said, "Nope, you left. You're not back in. You'll find out with everyone else."
Yeah, so that's how it all started, like that weird, petty thing over like her Zoom announcement of them getting the kids. You know, like, which it's. So I definitely think you're right. She is like kind of crashing out a bit, Julia.
Yeah.
Like, and just acting weird and straight up lying. Like, you know, like she said I wasn't going to bring it up. And the next thing she like brings it up publicly.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and again, so you get why Gertie is like reacting. Mm-hmm. But she went so over the top that people aren't going to be on her side. Right. Even though they would have been. If she was just like, that was totally screwed up. Like, we just said that and you did it again. Like, now I don't feel like I can trust you. People would have been like, oh, yeah, Gertie's so right. Like, that was screwed up.
Right.
But Gertie went so insane, like, that everyone's just like, whoa, like, don't text her anything. Don't confide in her with anything. Right. Like, you know. And
I'm sure she has
or don't miss a Zoom or whatever. Yeah, it's crazy.
Gotten lots of support, as Gertie should. You know, she was totally screwed over by Julia. But behind her back, you know, people are saying, dude, she does people dirty. Keep your eye out on that one.
Yeah, like she, like when the first thing happened where Julia brought it up again, she was the victim and she was the villain. Mm-hmm. And instead of, she tried to kind of highlight that, but now it's just like, she's the supervillain.
Yeah.
You know, like, and it's like, oh, you just did yourself such a disservice going nuclear like that.
Well, and it definitely brings like, creates a real true break in the casting. So that's where I would be worried for like how is the show going to proceed if there is a big split, as we saw with New Jersey. It canceled them. No one wants to watch a split cast who cannot ever make up year after year after year. The whole thing with Housewives is they have tiffs, they work it out, and then they come back together,
Yeah.
as much as they can. But when there is that like cast divide and it's like, I won't film with her, she won't film with me, that's when it starts to get just too dirty, and then people lose interest.
Yeah.
So I think from a casting point of view, she should be
like she's kind
more
of
cautious of doing things like that. It does make good for TV for that episode, but in the long run, it could cost her position.
Yeah, it is. Once it gets too crazy, it sort of kills the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what happened to
them.
Vanderpump.
Yeah.
It got too crazy. They had the biggest ratings ever, but then it killed the show because it's like none of these people want to film with each other.
Yeah.
If they, at a minimum, they have to be comfortable enough to be like, yeah, I want to spend all this time filming with this person.
Right.
Where when it goes so crazy, where it's like, I can't trust this person at all. I'm not gonna waste my time filming with them. Then there's nothing to produce, and they're like, and it just dies, you know.
So,
and Miami's already a weird show where it's like a season every 3 years, so it's like I don't know what their schedule is, but it seems like it's so weird.
They've had storyline issues. They've had rating issues.
Yeah.
And then they take these like 3 to 5 year breaks, and we're excited to see them back, but not if it's gonna just be like this split of a cast right off the bat. It does okay maybe for half a season, but
yeah, it's like it's just that thing. It's good up until a point. When they go beyond that, though, it does so much damage that it's like these people can't be around each other anymore, and it's too hard for any one person to be friends with both of them too, because it's just when you're with the one, you got to deal with how the other one's going to feel about it, and you're just like, this is way more trouble than it's worth.
Right. And it's similar, not as diabolical, but similar to what Kenya did in Real Housewives of Atlanta on this past season, with showing the photos of Brittany doing explicit activity to men.
Yeah, basically
that
like leaking.
Is more diabolical.
Well, and that they canned her immediately.
And she got fired immediately. And she got replaced, and I don't want that for Gertie. Like, I like seeing her up there. I like seeing her story, and I don't want her to blow up her own spot. I also don't want her to crash out, and I don't want Julia to crash out either and ruin everything for multiple castmates,
Yeah, for sure.
So that's the update with Real Housewives of Miami, and we'll definitely be back with more as the season heats up.
Thanks for listening.